Hey folks, this is Kelani. With the Battle for Azeroth Alpha shaping up quite nicely, I can't help but think our time in Legion is coming to a close. While many people would surely welcome the new content that a new expansion offers, remember that when the new expansion rolls around, some content in the current expansion will be removed or less accessible. It would be really disappointing to learn a little too late that you could have picked up a title, mount, artifact skin, or anything else that might be getting removed if you had just put a little bit of effort in all those months ago. We're well into the content lull at this point, and I doubt Battle for Azeroth will drop this side of summer. I would hedge my bets on an August or September release, so there's quite a while to go. Why don't we fill that time with picking up the bits and bobs that are probably being removed, or work towards being in an awesome position when Battle for Azeroth finally releases? Let's have a look at what you should get done before we enter the Battle for Azeroth. While our artifacts will be thrown down the toilet and replaced by a shiny amulet that sucks up the blood of Azeroth, the skins available for your artifact will still be available for transmog. So if you really wanted to keep your Ashbringer or your Naru staff, you can keep transmogging your new quest reward weapons to make them look like an epic weapon of lore. Most of these artifact skins will be earnable after Legion is over, with the exception of a handful, and it's those skins that you should make sure you pick up before they're gone. If you like the look of any artifact skins for any class, especially if they're the ones which are going to be removed, I would recommend getting that class to a point where you can unlock any skin you wish and do so. You never know when you might want to hop characters, and if you don't have the super shiny artifact skin after it's been removed, you might be a little sad. This wouldn't be the first time cosmetic rewards will be removed after an expansion ends. Challenge mode dungeon sets in Mists of Pandaria and challenge mode weapon skins from Warlords of Draenor were removed and are no longer obtainable in their original skins, so don't procrastinate if you actually want one of these skins. The artifact skins which will no longer be obtainable after Legion ends are the ones tied to completing a Mythic plus 15 key in time, and the ones tied to the Mage Tower. A Mythic plus 15 key is relatively easy to complete or purchase a run for if you're really desperate, but it can be a little harder when you want multiple classes artifact skins. All I can say on that front is try to work as efficiently as possible. Leveling up to max and getting an item level good enough to get yourself into a group is going to take a bit of work and time, but at least you only have to do one Mythic plus 15 key or above on each character. So if you have some friends or guildies who can give you a hand, that's going to be the fastest way to unlock those skins. The only major issue you may run into is having to complete the Balance of Power quest line, which can be pretty long and tedious if you're trying to get this done across multiple alts, but at least you're working towards a guaranteed reward and you have quite a good chunk of time to get everything done. The Mage Tower, on the other hand, is probably considerably harder to achieve across multiple toons because not only do you have to level up and gear up, but you can't fall back on anyone else when it comes to those challenges. You're entirely on your own, so you're going to have to learn your new class to a decent level as well. Thankfully, you can outgear some of the challenges, which should make it a little easier, but on the flip side, some challenges are incredibly difficult without specific legendary items, meaning you might have to rely on RNG just a little bit. Either way, you won't be able to earn the Mythic plus 15 or the Mage Tower artifact appearances for any of your weapons after we hop into the next expansion, so if you want them, you're going to have to get them done before we're all fighting each other again. To get some of your classes up to the point of being able to collect those appearances, you might have to do a bit of leveling, and when it comes to levels 100 to 110 specifically, there's no time like the present to get your toons leveled up. You can work your way through 100 to 110 pretty quickly if you just quest through the zones, but if you really want to take a back seat and you're happy leveling several characters over a week or two, then you're going to want to take full advantage of the Legion invasions on the Broken Isles. You should expect about a level per invasion, so whenever you see an invasion up, complete all of the world quests available and then you can log out until the next one comes up. This ends up taking longer overall, but it is drastically lower playtime on your alt, and you can level up multiple characters at the same time. These invasions might not continue after Legion ends. We don't have any confirmation on whether they will be around after Battle for Azeroth launches, but why risk it? Leveling up from 100 to 110 is so quick, easy, and painless right now that you might end up kicking yourself later down the line if you end up wanting to level a character, and these invasions aren't still going on. Just the fact that you can level them over time is fantastic, and you never know when you might want to play a different class. If that class is already at level 110 thanks to the invasions, then you can just hop on over and start gearing up and working towards other goals. It would also be advantageous to have multiple classes at max level ready for Battle for Azeroth due to the changes that always happen in a new expansion. If your favourite class, God forbid, changes so drastically that you no longer enjoy the playstyle, having other options already leveled up and ready to go makes switching characters much easier. Who knows, you might find another class way more enjoyable going into Battle for Azeroth, even if your main hasn't really changed that much. It's all about options. You can give your future self plenty of options with a little bit of work now. On a different note, if you weren't yet aware, the First Aid profession is going to be removed in Battle for Azeroth. At least that seems to be the plans right now. Instead of it being its own secondary profession, First Aid will be merged with tailoring, and everything that First Aid could do is now a part of our favourite cloth spinning profession. That might be met with mixed feelings by a lot of folks, and quite a few of you might be thinking, well, so what? No one ever uses First Aid anyways. And while I would usually agree with you, there's actually a few achievements tied to First Aid which will probably become unavailable after this change, if not significantly restricted. The First Aid leveling achievements will most likely be moved to the Feats of Strength categories, so if you want to get your hands on those while you can, it shouldn't cost you too much cloth. But there's also an achievement which rewards the title Field Medic. Definitely a cool title to pick up on any of your healers, but it's a little involved and obviously requires extensive use of First Aid. The achievement itself involves killing specific monsters to receive a quest item. If you have First Aid and you've been playing Legion for quite a while, you might have already seen these types of quests, and probably abandoned them. But you get a quest which asks you to go help out an injured adventurer. To fix up the poor souls you encounter, you'll need a variety of items, from field packs to splints, which all come from First Aid. The field packs can be purchased from the First Aid vendor in Dalaran, while some of the other bits and pieces will require you to level up First Aid first. Thankfully, First Aid is incredibly easy to level up to 800. You can create feathered loofahs until 760, and then the silkweave splints until 790. After that, you just need to start saving adventurers and you'll get to 800 to finish up the other quests. Easy peasy. All you have to do after that is keep your supplies stocked up and head out looking for the quest items. Sadly, it seems like these items have quite a low drop rate, so this might be something to tackle over a longer period of time as opposed to trying to get it all done at once. So the sooner you start, the longer you'll have to finish these achievements. If you want any First Aid related achievements or the Field Medic title, you're going to have to get them done before Legion draws to a close. I'll link a guide for this achievement in the comments section below, just in case you need an extra helping hand. The next one is a little strange. Instead of being removed going into Battle for Azeroth, the fishing artifact will be sticking around, which makes it the only artifact we'll still be able to use going forward. So if you haven't gotten around to picking up the fishing artifact, you might want to seriously think about it. Who knows what advantages you could gain if you ever wanted to start fishing in Battle for Azeroth. I'm not sure if anything will be added to the artifact or if it will stay the same as what we have right now, but there's always a chance they might add in a few extra traits. Anyone who already has the artifact might just be better at fishing in the next expansion, and we just can't have that. So be sure to pick it up whenever you get bored enough to give fishing a try. To obtain the artifact, you have to complete the achievement Bigger Fish to Fry, which involves catching all of the rare fish throughout the Broken Isles. It shouldn't take too long, especially if you buy the bait instead of fish for it. There's also a few ways you can speed things up, so once again I'll link a guide in the comments section below so you can peruse that at your own leisure. The artifact isn't the only reason to pick up fishing though. There's a whole little reputation with its own vendor related to Legion fishing, and if you haven't started fishing yet, don't worry. If you can fly, you can head on over to Margos's Retreat easily enough and start fishing up Drowned Mana. Drowned Mana is a currency used for the reputation vendor who sells all manner of goodies, from little cosmetic pieces for fishing, toys, and even the brine deep bottom feeder. Some of the items even help speed up acquiring the artifact, so it's worth learning about if you want to start fishing. The most interesting part of Margos's Retreat is that Drowned Mana is faster to acquire in a group, so check out the Looking for Group tool to join up with fellow fisher friends. That's also the reason why I would try to get this done before Legion ends. People will still be fishing at Margos's Retreat throughout Legion, but I doubt you'll ever find a large group when the next expansion rolls around. Anything related to Margos's Retreat and fishing is going to be way faster right now, and way slower if you decide to come back after the next expansion is already released. If you want any of the rewards related to fishing in Legion, now is the time to get them done. The last topic I want to talk about isn't going away either, but there's no reason to not get it done before BFA comes out. The allied races we currently have access to are all tied to Legion content, so even if you want to wait for BFA to come out before you start leveling a Void Elf or a Nightborn, you're still going to have to get those requirements under your belt, which are all obtained in Legion. The reputations are in Legion, the quest lines are in Legion. There's no reason to hold off on checking each requirement off your list if you ever plan to play the race we already have access to. Obviously, if you don't care about the allied races, then I guess there's no point in going out of your way, but remember that each allied race unlock does award you with a mount and an achievement, so they might be worth the work if the race itself isn't in your opinion. You also don't know what you might want to do in the future, and it's going to suck if you want to play one of the allied races later on down the line and you didn't get the reps or quests done earlier. It's completely up to you, but I would recommend getting them done on both Horde and Alliance if you have the time, just so you can play them if the desire ever surfaced. Once again, it's all about options and making sure you have access to a variety of content further on. The dev team could decide to remove some of the requirements on some of the allied races as time goes on, but I wouldn't be surprised if they still locked everything behind the reps and quests until we're quite a ways through Battle for Azeroth. Personally, I've done the Horde ones already, and I'm going to work on getting the Alliance ones done too, just in case we decide to go Alliance for the next expansion and I fancy leveling up a Void Elf. So that's everything I'd recommend getting done before Battle for Azeroth comes our way. What about you? Will you work on any of the things I've mentioned in this video? Is there anything you're getting done which I didn't cover? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.